we were playing in the game room and we decided to go to dinner. And she said, well, I got to do something in my room first. And I said, well, me too, but I'll call you in about 15 minutes. So I called her about 15 minutes and I didn't get an answer. So I walked downstairs because sometimes she didn't answer her phone and I couldn't find her. And I went back out, knocked on her door, no thing, and I came back. And she was coming out of the lunchroom and she said, oh, I just had a really good salad. I said, you went and ate? She goes, yeah. I said, what? She said, well, you asked me and I said, yes. Don't, honey, I don't want you hitting anything else. I'll move all that stuff next time so it won't be there. It's in the way. The computer's in the way. Anyway, my story continues. She says, you asked me and I said yes, and they asked me and I said yes, and I decided to go with them. I said, and you didn't bother to call me? I've been standing out there for 40 minutes. And she goes, oh. Like, and sometimes I didn't think she was quite there, you know, like, and the next day, we were playing bowling, and she was just about finishing up. She had about 3 frames to go, and I said, I'll go get your food, because we had already called in our order. And I saw Bob H. coming down. I said, do me a favor. I said, make sure she goes back to the room with it and meets me with the food, because Bob will take off because, okay, well, he didn't do it. Or I don't know what perspired, but when I came with the food, she was playing bowling with him and everybody else had gone home, which made me a little pissed off too, because, you know, they were alone in the other room. If I had thought about it, as a way out, I should have turned the lights off, because it's pitch black in there. They have a hard time finding the light switch.
Yeah.
But I didn't think of it. So I came back about 10 minutes later and she got mad. She says, would you leave till we're done? I said, you know what? This is the second thing you've done in the last 2 days. Well, I came back and she was gone. And I thought, where's she going? I walked around the corner. She was sitting there with one of the bus boys talking with him. So I just walked off. Again, I should have done something, because she's a cougar, you know.
Her behavior, though, I think it was dementia related.
That's what Chris was saying. He said, this just makes sense, Dad, for her to say. I mean, nobody would be happy if I said, yeah, I thought about you and I thought about her and I took her. So anyway, to go finish, so I was really mad about that. And despite all of that, I thought, well, tomorrow morning is Sunday. And they had a big conference thing going on, and she was all excited about it. I thought, shit, I'm just not going to go and let her walk. And I'm not going to tell her. Well, the alarm went off, and I turned it off. And she came over and she knocked on the door, and I didn't ignore it. And finally, she went and got security. She thought I wasn't okay. So they went and got her, and we went to I told them I'm not going, and I could see her little face start to shrivel up, and I thought, oh shit. She's done 3-4 things to me now, and I'm still going to do it. Well, I did it. And on the way home, she goes, you know what? Would you like me to fix your breakfast? I thought, yeah, that'd be nice. I said, that'd be good. And the time we got there, she goes, Bob, I'm too tired. See, I'm just gonna go upstairs and lie down and we'll do the lunch or something later. And I said, okay. So she left, and I got and doing something in my car, and I went back over toward the library. And she's coming out again.
Yeah.
She stopped off and had lunch after she told me, and then so I walked over and I started yelling at her a little bit, and she walked over, and then Bob and Patty came up, and she ran over and talked to them. For the new one, I was down there waiting for about 15 minutes. And despite all that shit, like you said, I think it was dementia, because when I thought about it, when her sister told me why she wouldn't let me say we were boyfriend and girlfriend, or because she didn't want her husband to know, and her sister's very adamant that the things you're telling me, that's not Mary. She didn't do things like that, you know. And every time.
I think it was dementia, because that behavior is not logical thinking.
Right, and I never really.
Dementia distorts your perception of reality.
There's a magazine today, the newspaper talks about people that have dementia, anxiety, and they say some of these people are so mean, and they've been nice their whole life, and you said, but you have to realize that's not them.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them get really mean. We've got some that are not really mean, but they're kind of mean. There's one that used to always watch me walk by, and she had the same dress on, and she came up about a week ago and said, can I sit with you? I said, sure. And she goes, all those people are saying that you wouldn't let me sit with you, and there was nobody talking to her at all. Mm-hmm. And she goes, I knew you'd let me. I said, you sit anytime you want, I don't care. Then I didn't realize how demented she was. And then she started talking not to me, but to somebody that wasn't there, and arguing. And her name is Pat. So, and then the other one that I knew that had dementia, his name is Prudence or something like that. And she goes, Prudence, come sit with us. And I go, oh shit, I'm gonna have two of them. And then she didn't. But then she never asked me to sit with her again. And that's just as good. Then I had another one. She wears a visor, and she likes Tony, I guess, because I sat with her. Tony met her first, and he introduced me to her, and I just because she talks and talks and talks and talks and talks.
That's like you.
Not like her. She's boring. I'm not boring.
No,
But anyway,
you're
she
interesting.
so she came up. She goes, yeah. She goes, Tony's been avoiding me. Tony goes, I have not. She goes, yes, you have. You looked right past me the other day. I said, well, I'm not avoiding you. I just invited you. I told you to sit down here. Tony's getting mad, and Tony never gets mad. And so she started this long thing about how her son looks like Tony, and the wedding, and when her son's 60. I mean, she just about covered his whole life, and never stopped to take a damn breath. I was like, when do you breathe, lady? And he was just rolling his eyes, and finally she goes, you know what? I'm supposed to call my daughter at 1 o'clock. So he left, and I'm stuck there with her. She calmed down a little bit, but she's just, the women don't want nobody to let her sit with her.
That's a lot. And you stayed there the whole time?
What am I going to do? Pick up my food and go sit someplace else? And,
You should have faced a phone call like Tony.
isn't that a little bit hard to believe?
You could have said it was me.
I said it was anybody, and Tony's just used that excuse. I can't use it now. In fact, I went up to his room after that, and I got the door, we both started
my
laughing.
daughter is coming over.
What's that?
You could have said my daughter is coming
I could have said anything, but it's still not going to make it any more believable because she was mad that Tony went to her. I said, no, he calls his daughter every Sunday at 1. And she wasn't doing anything. She really hardly talked to me. And she calmed her way down when Tony left. And we did talk a little bit. She gave me a book thing that you can order things out of. It's kind of novelty stuff, you know. It's a toy book. I don't know what you call it. But anyway, she gave me that, so I was obligated to that. And the first time she started talking, I put it up in front of my face, and just like I was reading it, I was just blocking her out. She goes, you didn't hear anything. She kept telling Tony, goes, I know you don't care about this, but you're going to hear it. And she went into some thing about it, and then she goes, yeah, they don't like me because they say I talk too much. I don't talk any more than anybody else. Well, you're pretty close. So anyway, make a long story short.
You talk a lot.
Well, you you asked me to talk.
You're interesting.
Now I won't talk anymore, and I'll show you. Just like with Pepsi, I can stop talking.
You smelly.
If you want me to talk, say so.
Oh, I don't care.
That thing you guys gave me.
your stories.
Well, then why do you just messing with you, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll mess with you. She probably.
I've had Dixie for 2 years now.
Had what?
I've had Dixie.
Oh, Dixie.
For 2 years now.
Yeah.
We got her. I got her July 24th.
She seems to be still a young puppy.
Oh yeah, she's only 3 years old.
Pip just struck me as the same age her whole life. She didn't get any more frisky or any less frisky. She was just the same way she was. And she's very easy to predict. I knew that if I reached toward you, I was going to get her in my face. And when Uncle John almost hit
good girl.
Uncle John almost hit her.
Pip?
Yeah.
Why?
You weren't there?
I don't remember.
Well, maybe you weren't. I was at Wendy's. No, you weren't there. I was at yes, I was at your house. And John had Pip. No, you had Pip. And John got ready to go, and he reached over to shake your hand or hug you, and she got ready to say, yeah. And he went like this. He went like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, looked like he was ready to throw a punch.
Yeah.
And which would have been I've told him before, she won't bite, she might bark at you, but she's going to protect Molly, so you just need to face that.
Yeah.
She got your lap that first morning.
She's a good girl.
She was worth every penny. Of
Yeah,
all the
I
dogs.
love Pip.
What's that?
I love Pip.
I did too. I
She's
loved her.
a good
Same reason I
girl.
love Charlie, because Charlie's been so good to Amy. And I love Pip because Pip was so good to you. And she was
But you love Pip on her own. Like,
did.
she was a good dog.
if you had to go to college and I need to take care of Pip, I would have taken her in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very good dog, but I don't think we could have found a better dog for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you ordered that dog, especially for God, exactly the way she was.
Yeah, she's a good girl. I miss her.
Yeah, I miss her too.
Baby.
But you know, wherever she is, like I said, the last thing she knew was you. She felt your warm touch, and she saw your face as she went to her next life. And
Yeah.
that's so much better than my dog died in the backyard. And you know, she was sick, Duchess. I drove from Phoenix, and they had left her there. She was hard as a rock, and you just my poor dog. She was with me, and been such a Dusty just liked to talk, especially with Grandma. Grandma would be sitting in Dad's chair, and just would come up and get her back to her, and Mom would go, "Come on now," and she'd go, "Right here." Mom would go, "That's right." And she put her paw, Mom would hold it. She talked with others, but not as much as she did to Mom. She'd go, and Mom would go, "Yes, that's right. I've heard that before." They were so funny.
Daisy likes to talk.
Did she?
Yeah, she'll do that. She's so funny. She likes to yell at people when they won't play toys.
Really?
She wants
She's
to.
settled down a lot,
Yeah, she has.
and that's to your credit, because I liked her at first, but I thought, geez, this dog would wear me out. That's the reason I got rid of Winston. Was I
She
think,
was just rambunctious.
well, she was in a new. No, she wasn't rambunctious. She was in a new house, and she'd been shuttled around quite a bit, and she had to kind of find her. She knows that's your home now. That's her home.
She's a good girl.
So when you decide to move, you'll have to keep that in mind, that she was she needs she'll need some time to acclimate herself, but she'll do it.
What's that notebook? It says 1949.
This one? This one?
The notebook.
Oh, that's
right
Chris.
there.
That's my. To get on, that's my my password. 1949.
For what?
To get onto the screen to get it started.
Oh,
I used to have Pip, Duchess. Pip, Duchess.
Kona.
The order was
Kona,
Kona.
Pip, and Ro.
and Pip, Monroe, and Dusty. It was 4 dogs.
Kona, Pip, Duchess, Dusty.
I think
I like that.
it was easy for me to remember.
That's a long password.
And then sometimes I would reduce one question, all the letters to capitals except one. And I also put an @5 on the end and started with bad. I'm smart. That's why. What time do you need to go, honey? You got to pack for your trip?
Probably soon.
It's
but
2 o'clock, and you want to avoid the traffic within the next hour.
Can you write that check also?
Okay.
Thank you.
Brought it with me. Checkbook. Can you hand me that pen? It's right there beside you on the counter. Right
Yeah.
here, right here where I am. It's right there. Look along
I
the edge.
see.
You see it?
I'm gonna scoot forward a little bit. And it's time to take your medicine.
Oh, that. Yeah, the Vitari. Okay. Pay to the order of Molly Lawson.
Oh no, let me pull hang on. Don't write anything